There I am. I couldn't see myself. I don't know if you could see me there, but for some reason, I didn't show up on my own platform. Not good. Well, I hope you're all having a good Saturday morning. I have had a good night's rest, which is wonderful. The night before, I didn't sleep very well. And I've also been working pretty hard around here. Um, I've been rearranging furniture. Yes, again. I never really quite caught up with that from the time that my mom moved in December. We had Christmas and there was all of that, and then putting all the Christmas stuff away and pretty much taking everything that I had everywhere that I had it and throwing it all in the garage basically. So all the work that I did back in November, October with my friend Pebbles was a good start, but the garage is still a work in progress. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you this morning. Thank you for hopping on live today. Hey, friends, if you're on live, say hello, good morning, throw a wave in the chat, a heart, a hug, anything. Let me know that you're on so I can say good morning to you. And if you are on the replay, just let me know you watched on the replay. I would love to know that. I see that there's a number of people who that watch the replay, but I don't always know who you are, and I love to say good morning and thank you for watching. So that would be appreciated. And I see someone saying good morning now, and I think that's probably Joy. Joy, if that's you, throw a thumbs up in the box so I can say good morning to you as well. And I see there's a few others that are on this morning, and I just really appreciate you coming on and joining me this morning. I hope you all have grabbed a cup of coffee today. I actually did grab my coffee and saved a little bit for my time this morning with you guys. So I'll start with a sip of that. um, I did want to give you all an update. Most of you have probably saw the post I did yesterday. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before now. Um, Mom has had now for several months, 4 or 5 months, she's been dealing with something called a venous ulcer. So, a venous ulcer is, hey, good morning, Pebbles. Nice to see you this morning. Um, so, a venous ulcer is when you don't have you don't have good circulation moving up. Now she has great circulation pulsing out, but not pulsing back. And so the legs, which are the longest extremity, um, aren't always able to push up the fluid in from the feet and it up the legs. And so that fluid eventually builds up and has nowhere to go. And the older you are, the thinner our skin gets, and eventually that fluid builds up and will burst through the skin. So that's a venous ulcer. Unfortunately, when we went to the wound doctor the other day, as these venous ulcers take a long time to heal, and they have to be treated a specific way. They have to do different types of reps to help compress that fluid and push it up. Um, but her body just doesn't have much ability to do a whole lot of that. So it's taken a really long time. In the meantime, something's gotten into that, and she now also has cellulitis all around that venous ulcer. So she was given an antibiotic the other day. The cellulitis is not severe, thankfully. 6 years ago, she had cellulitis so bad from a fall and the fluid from that uh, built up under her skin really deep. So eventually, she had to have surgery. She had surgery twice to cut that open and clean all of that out. And she did recover from that, but now she has cellulitis again. And it was pretty disheartening to hear that. But they gave her an antibiotic, and it was something that I don't believe she's ever had before. Well, she had an allergic reaction to it. Woke up in the middle of the night, completely covered in her chest, armpits, down the bottom part of her arms, the back of her legs. She was like beet red, lobster red skin, and so we called the doctor, of course, and not being sure how severe the reaction was, they suggested we go to the ER, which we did. They didn't really do anything for her other than call in a prescription for a different antibiotic, which we got yesterday. And so now she has that, and she's been doing fine. So she's back to her chipper old self. I don't think she'd like that I just used the word old, but she's back to her chipper self, and she's doing well. So we really appreciate your prayers. I know many of you have prayed for her, and also for me, and the time that I was spending with her in the hospital and all of that sort of thing. So that seems to be all under control. Hi, Pam. Nice to see you this morning. And Pebbles, thank you all for being on this morning. So you may have noticed that I have been posting my Facebook posts on my website, and then just leaving a link there for you to do that. And you may be wondering why. Why are you doing that? Well, because there are people who have wanted to share those devotionals with people who aren't on Facebook. So the easiest way to do that um, was to put it on a blog. Also, I've had countless numbers of suggestions that I turn these posts into a devotional. So I've given a lot of thought and prayer to what a devotional would look like, other than the fact that I'd be using what I've written on Facebook each morning. And I really feel like the very best thing would be for me to categorize um, the devotionals into different subjects. So there might be a devotional that's specifically for grief, or for widows, or finances, or worry, fear. So there may be various topics, and that's great, because then you can share a devotional with someone that you know who may be struggling with grief, and it would be a month worth of the devotionals in that particular topic. So those would be great for sharing with other people as well. And so we're in the process, and I say we because I have someone helping me with this project, and and she is helping me put these devotionals into categories. And in the process of putting them on a blog site, they are, of course, being edited and kind of restructured to be a little bit more professional, and the ability to put them into a book form that would be a really good reading material for someone. So, thus, I've got the website. And what I would really, and the other thing that's really great is that the website allows people to subscribe. So every day you would not miss a post. And you can always go back and easily find a post that was done before. Now, right now, the website has all of the posts, or most of the posts that I've done since the very first day of January of this year, so January 1. However, this week that will be changing. So the website will only have, because right now it's like 50, I think, different posts, and that's overwhelming. It's too many. And so we'll be cutting that down to just having 2 weeks worth at a time. And the others will be used for, as I mentioned before, compiling into devotionals that are topical. Um, so another thing that some people have suggested or they've asked me, is there a way to make a donation to help pay for some of this work that you're doing? The website, the help that you have. I pay for an editing program. All of those things, everything costs something, right? So, just to help incur some of those costs, this week there will be a donation button going on the website. And if this is valuable to you, and you would like to give a donation, hey, it is certainly welcome. Would really appreciate that, and it will be put to good use. So that will be there as well. So for those of you who have asked me, you will have that option coming up soon. And if you've never thought of doing it and you'd like to, you can also do that. So the donation is, if I remember correctly, because I've had to read about how to add that button to the site. I believe that the donations can be done like as a one-time thing or once a year, or even if you wanted to just give a couple of dollars each month, you can do it that way as well. Now, there's another great advantage to having the website, the blog, and that is that you can subscribe to it, as I mentioned before. So the advantage to subscribing is that you never miss a post. It's easier to go back and look at a previous post from a few days ago or the last week or whatever. It's really easy to share a post with a friend who you think might be encouraged by a particular devotional. Also, by subscribing, you will be the first to know about other things that are coming out. So this spring, probably late spring, my newest version of Mary, Dear Mary, What's Growing in Your Garden is coming out. Um, and that is being published by Covenant Books. I'm super excited about the work that I've done with them on this book. If you read Mary, Dear Mary a year and a half ago when it first came out, you'll find the new version to be really nice and nicely done, nicely laid out, and a wonderful gift for someone also that you may know. Um, you'll also be updated on new art and also some other new products that are in the works, one of which will be note cards, which will be categories of various sketches that I have done over the years. And also, I will have adult coloring books coming out soonish. The adult coloring books are really cool. They are going to be different than other adult coloring books that you have seen everywhere. Um, I wanted to create them. And I mean, I've really, really wanted to make adult coloring books for a variety of reasons. But I also have been slowed down in the process just because I've kind of wondered, like, well, why would I want to create something that there's already millions of, right? Um, so I wanted mine to be unique, and I think you'll find mine to be quite unique. And if you're not someone who really likes the adult coloring books that are out there, I can't wait to introduce you to the coloring book style that I'm creating because it is more like, well, a friend of mine, as I was sharing with her and showing her some of what I've got together for the first book, when she looked at it and she went, I hate adult coloring books, but this I would love because when I was a little girl, I loved coloring. And this reminds me more of what I had when I was small, although it is an adult version. So they're not babyish. um, and they're not, like robots and dinosaurs, but they are different. And I'm also offering I'm offering, it will be accompanied by a video where I will have some suggestive things to enhance the experience as you work through the coloring book. So I'm really excited about that and super excited to introduce that to you soon. I think those will probably be out late spring. And I say late spring because I have other things in the works. I have a large project for a church that is commissioning me to do several large paintings. So I will be working on those. And of course, I have my trip in April next month to Portugal for 2 weeks, which I'm super excited about. I will be visiting missionary friends. I have been friends with this couple for almost 30 years, 27, 28 years, I think. And they have lived in Portugal for the last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years. We've talked about uh, me coming for a visit for quite a long time. 2 different years, Mike and I were going to visit, and then COVID happened, and so that did not happen. And of course, we've had my mom living with me, well, me slash us, for over 6 years or almost 6 years, and so that's always been kind of always having to work out the details of how we could possibly get away because we have mom here. So that never happened until now. And my sister will be coming for 2 weeks in April so that I can get away for those 2 weeks to go and visit them. And I'm super excited about that. I've helped them with a few of their uh, uh, promotional projects and things that they've had. So it will be really fun to go and actually see in person the things that I've been helping them um, to promote and receive donations for and whatnot. So I'm super, super excited about that. So, long 20-minute update on mom, my website, my trip to Portugal. um, but I wanted to kind of fill you in on what's been going on and what is coming. I'm really excited about all of this. Um, you know, Mike's been gone a little over 2 years. Um, it's taken quite a bit of adjustment, and I think that a good part of that adjustment is the fact that there's been grief mingled in, and also just trying to figure out um, not only what is my life supposed to look like now, but what am I supposed to do with mom, and juggling life with mom by myself as well. Um, and I think it's important for me to talk about, even though most of you, well, one of you at least, um, watching is not widowed. But you probably will know someone, if you don't already, who is widowed or widowed recently. And um, I would never say that losing a husband is the worst grief that someone can experience. I've lost a stepchild. Uh, I lost twin grandbabies. Both of those I lost in 2008 when my first husband died. Um, I've experienced a lot of grief from a lot of different levels and a lot of different relationships with people. I've never lost one of my own daughters. So I could never say that losing a child would be more or less grief experience. I can't speak on that platform, but I can tell you this: life without a spouse is, especially if you've been married with them to them for a number of years and you have your life planned out, and every day this person's involved in the decision making process, um, and likely even provides some of the income that you've lived on that's allowed you to live the way you've lived, and then all of a sudden that's gone. And that, mixed with the grief, is this huge adjustment period of having to figure things out. How am I going to live on a different income? um, should I keep my house? How am I going to juggle the responsibilities that were once from two, and now it's just all on me? So I just wanted to explain some of that to you, kind of in a nutshell, so that you have an understanding of what um, widows and widowers go through as well. In fact, from the perspective of the widowers, having worked with many widowers with Mike when he was here and we worked with the widowed community, one thing that we noticed about men when they lose their wife is most of them do not know how to, um, I guess I'd say, organize or initiate community, because most men's wives are the ones who would have friends over or tell them we're going over to someone's home for dinner, or we're going out with this person, or we're going to go do that. Of course, when you're widowed, you also lose most of your friends. When you're married, you don't have a lot of single friends. And when you're single, most of your friends have been married, right? And so they aren't always that eager to be friends with you anymore when you're alone. Um, Being a third wheel in those kinds of situations is really awkward. And there's always this fear that, because you've been close with a couple, that a special relationship could develop with that person's spouse. And so you'll find when you are widowed that you lose almost all of your friends. And so women have an easier ability to find places and things to do where you can find new friends, make new friends. Men really don't know how to do that for the most part. I wouldn't say all men, but for the most part, men are very lonely. So I wasn't planning on bringing all this up this morning, but as I've been talking about it, or I started talking about it, I realized that it's a good topic to talk about because most people don't know, and most people don't always understand what a widowed relative or friend or neighbor might be going through. You might be thinking, gosh, if the guy's been gone for 6 months, why is she still having such a hard time? Um, it actually takes 2 to 5 years. I mean, that is, studies have shown it takes that long to move through deep grief with any relationship. But as I say, when it comes to losing a spouse, you're compiling it with losing pretty much everything that you were doing before and having to make a huge adjustment in every level of your life. It's challenging. So if you know someone who's widowed, give them a break. Just put your arm around them and say, I love you and I'm praying for you. And that means the world because you certainly cannot know everything they're going through. I would never even claim that I understand everything that a particular widow or widower is going through, even though some of those things I may have been going through, but they may experience it differently. So I would never say I completely understand. However, it is helpful to have some understanding of what the things are that a widowed friend or neighbor or family member may be experiencing. So that was just an aside this morning. Hey, an extra bonus that I wasn't counting on giving you, but there it is. I hope it's helpful for someone. Maybe this morning someone needed to hear that. Um, Hey, Pam, I really appreciate what you're saying here. I'm going to put you on the thing here so that everyone can see that. I agree, and this is one of the reasons why I've created a coloring book that is different. Pam says I find that adult coloring books are way too busy and the coloring spaces are too small. It's difficult to do if you have vision issues. Absolutely, and like even my mom, she loves to do this kind of thing, but my mom has tremors and her hand shakes and she can't color like that anymore, especially in small spaces. So well, Pam, I'm going to be excited. I mean, I am excited to be soon introducing this new coloring book idea that I have had, and I hope you'll be one of those who'd be interested in giving it a try. Let's see. I know you've said something else here too. I'm going to try to pull this up. Yes, Portugal will be wonderful. I cannot wait to go. Um, we're actually, they recommended that I come for 2 full week periods so that I have some time to rest when I get there because I will have jet lag and I will be flying over a very like I don't know if it's 24 hours, but from the time that I leave here and drive to the Raleigh airport and then get there and then I mean it's going to be it'll be an all-nighter and a long day. So it will be really nice to have a little bit of time to uh, you know rest and prepare for uh, other things that we're going to do, and I'll get to see um, really nice historical areas and meet a lot of the people that my friends have been meeting with and whatnot in Portugal, and just getting to be part of their ministry, not to mention just being able to see them in their home. They've come and stayed in my home the last couple of years when they've been back in the States for fundraising and other things. And so it will be really fun for me to be in their home, which is actually a new home because they have purchased a large building, a large home where they will be able to do a lot of hosting of special events and things like that coming up. So I'm super excited about my trip coming up, and I'm super excited about the things that I have going on um, in my art and writing world that look forward to sharing with all of you soon. So I hope you all have a great day. I really didn't mean for this to go on quite so long this morning, but I did stay within my max 30 minutes. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. Hey, don't forget to tell me if you are on the replay that you were watching so that I can say good morning and thank you to you as well. I hope you all have a great weekend and a wonderful week. I'll see you next Saturday on Fireside Chat. Bye bye.